Well, good morning, Blue Collar Millionaires. Glad you guys were able to tune in. You got Kevin and me here. We're going to talk about some nice little things that are coming up in the future that's going to help you guys just really jumpstart and get over those hurdles that you've had taking place. So, man, Kevin, we got so much stuff, so many ideas and so much desire here. It's just staying on track with what all of these ideas are. We've seen a lot of traction in the group. I love the interaction you guys are giving. I feel like this group is going to grow extremely fast. So as you are plugging into the group, make sure you're inviting your friends. Get them over into this group, because the more collaboration we have in the group, me and Kevin don't know it all. We're going to share our experiences, but there's a ton of you guys that are plugged into this group, guys and girls that have a lot of experience to give away and to help others. So we're looking forward to seeing all of the monies that's made between the members in this group. So Kevin, tell us about some of the brainstorming we've been doing.
All right. Yeah, we have a lot of things coming up. One of the things we're going to do, we've been talking about it for a while. We already, we're going to announce it today. We're going to do our first event in January. It's going to be Blue Collar Mastermind. It's going to be an intimate group. It's not going to be some big thing. It's going to be like 10, 12 people, guys in the group, or females, of course. It's going to be in Florida. It's going to be warm. It's going to be on a beach house. We're going to have a really nice beach house. We pretty much already picked out. It's between two. We're about to pull the trigger today. It's going to be a really nice event. So it's going to look something like this. That Thursday, let me just look at my calendar. The event's going to be the 27th and 28th of January. That's a Friday and Saturday. Mm-hmm. People would fly in on the 26th, which is a Thursday. The first, say, about 6 people can stay out the house. It'll be all included. We're going to have a big place. After that, it's first come, first serve. Once we fill up rooms and stuff, you can always go get a hotel close by and stuff, and then come over to the house for the events, the daily events and everything. But it'll be like kind of a hangout on Thursday night, just people getting to know each other. You guys are going to get to network with each other. Of course, we're going to be at everything. And then Friday, we're going to actually do we're going to have like kind of a curriculum. We already know what it's going to be on really how to help you guys become blue collar millionaires, business people, services. I'm going to give you everything I've been doing for 32 years, what works, what doesn't work. So is Chris. But then it's going to be a first class event. We're going to get rent a yacht. We're going to go out, have some drinks, network, hang out, and do that. We're going to do a first class steakhouse dinner at a great restaurant down in the area. So it's going to be a lot of stuff. It's going to be action packed. And then, of course, just going to be all of us talking, learning, and trying to get better as individuals.
Yeah, we've got guest speaker that right now, unless something changes, who is that, Kevin?
It's Mike Burns. He's a good friend of mine. I met him in a mastermind. We are in the Mark Evans Dealmaker Mastermind. He's a great guy, good buddy. His story, I don't know, of all the stories I heard, I just love his story. I'll let him tell it, but he's a guy that just, he's doing phenomenal now. And when you hear his story, it's, when you're hearing it, you're like, wait, this, I know how this ends, but it doesn't sound like it's going to work get to that point. Just his persistence and getting to where he was. He flips hundreds of homes now. He's doing phenomenal. And his story of like where he started to where he got now is just awesome. He's inspirational. I don't know of anybody personally that invests more in themselves than Mike Burns. If you follow him on social media, he's always on planes. He's always going to events. So when I was in Cleveland, I asked him, hey, do you want to do this? He was down. He's real interested. You get to hang out with him. He just brings a ton of value. So he'll be there as well.
Yeah, I listened to his podcast, his first episode when he launched it, and he kind of told his background story. And it really is a rags to riches. The dude is extremely successful. And anytime I hear the stories from individuals that have started with nothing and where they're at now, there's so much information that I am able to take away and implement into my personal life and my journey in business and finance. And I think that's what the value that he's going to be able to bring to this mastermind as well. So it's going to be in Florida last week of January. So you can escape the cold and get down to a warmer climate and hit the coast of Florida. We're going to have a steak dinner. We're going to be dropping content. In the process right now, me and Kevin are pulling out all of these things that have been very successful for us in our journey in business. And we're packaging this up into a curriculum. So we'll be teaching from that curriculum as well. And then you're just going to get a lot of the experience and successes from the people attending as well. Something that completely changed my life is the conversations that I've had with attendees at these events that I go to. That is what I take away. The speakers are fantastic when they have speakers. And yes, they bring a lot of action-packed information. But the individual side conversations that we have at lunch and after hours at dinner and whatnot, those are the conversations that really impact me, because now I'm sitting here asking questions that are particular to me and my situation, and I'm getting responses back from people that's already gone through that portion of their life journey in business. So I just am. I know there's going to be so much money made, because it always happens that way when you go to these groups. And if you never attended a mastermind yet, especially a small group mastermind, God, you're going to be in for a treat. So me and Kevin were talking before. We're actually going to be interviewing you guys. So if y'all are interested in this, then please leave in the comments interested. Type that you're interested. And then what we're going to do is reach out to you, because we want to make sure that everybody that comes to this event it's going to be beneficial for them. So we'll find out what you got going on in life, what your success is right now, what your hurdles are, because it's also going to allow us to prep so that when we do show up at this event, we're going to have action items for you to be able to take that's going to bust you past the hurdles that you currently have in your business. It's going to be exciting.
Absolutely. Chris, that's going to be probably the biggest difference in our mastermind. So we've both been to a lot of masterminds. Sometimes they're kind of big, and you don't really get access to maybe the main person, because it's like being at a wedding and they have a million things to do, right. and you still get a lot out of it. But ours is going to be smaller, and that's why we're going to do calls. And I know anybody who's been on calls for me, or they become friends with me, like, I got a million ideas and I'll get into it with you. I'll send you a page text about, hey, I would do it like this. Yeah. I just love doing this. So I want to talk to people for 20 minutes, half hour, and really say, hey, where's your business at? What are some of the hurdles? What are you looking to do? So that Chris and I will do that before, so that we're thinking of all those things. So when we get there and we're talking to you on Thursday night and meeting you for the first time, we're not meeting you for the first time, because we already did the Zoom. We already had a thing, and we're going to get right into those things. My goal really coming out of these events is, I like the winter time, because you probably, in most states, you have some time to now get ready for the spring, and you're going to come out of there. I mean, I'm going to really roll up our sleeves. We're going to say, hey, these are like 2 things I really think you should do. And you're going to ramp up your sales. Like, I think you could make $100,000 a year just doing these 2 things this year.
Yep.
Zero in, focus, and make money. That's how I would want it in those things. And that's what I want you guys to do it. And the great thing of this too, is we're all on this journey together, and I'll share my journey. Chris is going to share his journey. Mike Burns is going to share his journey, but this is like your journey too. Like, this can be a part of it. You know, I look back at some of the first masterminds I have. That was a part of my journey coming up. Absolutely. And the people you're going to meet, you don't even know them, but they're going to be a part of your success, because you're going to have really motivated, like-minded people who are getting on a plane, for 3 days, yeah, it's going to be fun and everything, but they might be getting away from their family. They're making that commitment. You're going to feel it when you're in that room. Like, wow, I'm in a room of people who are trying to do big things. Yeah, we call it, we're trying to be millionaires and deca millionaires and all this. That's the byproduct of committing to yourself, investing in yourself, and going to these trips, because it will happen.
Absolutely, man. I've done a few of these smaller masterminds, and what happens is I walk away with everybody's contact information. I stay in touch with them, and I've walked away with relationships, like friendships, that allies that I know that I can call, because, and even though it's a 2-day situation, in 2 days, when you're just immersed into the content and everybody's focused on the same thing and growing themselves and their understanding of how to advance in life and business, there's an instant connection. So I think more than anything, that relationship that you're going to walk away with is going to get you to the next level. And if we're sitting there with, let's say that we have 12 individuals that attend this, that's 12 opportunities that you have to make a phone call whenever you need something. And I've heard even, and here's a point I wanted to make as well. I know for me, I've probably, by the end of this year, I will have close to $75,000 spent on self-development. You're getting that $75,000 worth that I've spent in this. You're getting all of Kevin's money and time that he spent in past masterminds and events that he's gone to in building these relationships. So it's not just our particular journey. We're gathering all of the knowledge that we've been able to get and pay for, and our coaches. That's something that I've noticed. My coaches have coaches because they're constantly trying to level up. Every one of us in this room is going to be trying to level up. The great thing is you're getting the information from our coaches, and it's just trickling down to you. It's super powerful when you think about that.
It really is. It's a game changer. Taking this thing to the new level, and then getting around high level people here. So if you look back, if you look at one thing people say is, what would you tell yourself 10 years ago, 20 years ago? I mean, I could tell myself a million things to do differently. So that's what I want to say is, hey, I've been doing this for 32 years. These things, man, I wish I was doing this earlier. But the number one thing I always come back to is I made a huge mistake. I went at it alone. I learned it alone. I read books. Back then they didn't have YouTube, and I didn't even know about masterminds or really networking. The thing that's really launched me is having connections, high-level connections that people can help you. It's totally different when you have somebody who has a business that does millions of dollars, and that person you're calling and asking, hey, who's your accountant? Or, hey, what did you do in this thing? They have answers for you. It's totally different than your buddy who works in a cubicle. He might be a great guy and a nice guy. What are you going to ask him? He doesn't know. He's never done it. And you always have to get higher level people to do that.
Yeah.
For me, the number one person in my life for building my business has really been my mom. And the reason that is because she was an entrepreneur. Now, my business has really far exceeded any business she had. But like along the way in the beginning, I would ask her questions, and I could see she already went through that hurdle, and she would just answer it. And I was like, wow, that works. Okay. But now I started to okay, she can't answer these things. I can't answer these. I started having to get mentors and get in masterminds and higher level people. And that's really been, you hit these barriers and then you can get through them. Because right now you might have a barrier where, how do I get to $1 million in sales? Then it's, how do I get to 5 million? Then it's 10. You're going to hit all these new barriers, and you need to be around people who either have gone through them or have access to people who have gone through them in little niches. It's a game changer.
Another thing that I always take away when I get in these groups and masterminds is a belief system. My belief of what I can achieve always rises because I'm getting around others that are saying, dude, you can do this. I remember when you talked about, you were speaking with one of your mentors, Kevin, and you said, I want to do 100,000 a month. I think that's what you said. It might've been $1 million. Anyway, yeah. So then he was like, dude, you should be doing 5 million a month. Like
Yeah.
I can see that, and instantly your belief went up because you had somebody that was respected in your eyes tell you that you could do way more than what you originally thought you could. So what happened? You went and started taking action that was going to get you to that level that they believed you could get to. Where before, if you had not had that influence from someone that you respected, you would have probably have just gone after what you thought you could achieve. I know you would have. And that's the power of getting around these other people that understand you can do whatever you want to do if you believe you can do it. What did is Mike Aguilera, I think is his last name, that we saw in Cleveland, and he said 20x yourself if you want to 10x your business. And that is really where it's at, man. We're getting in these rooms to 20x ourselves, 20x our knowledge, our belief, our network, and then you're going to see the multiplication happen in your business, and that money is the byproduct. And it is an extremely rewarding feeling when you know that you are at a level that you can handle a Decamillionaire business.
Yeah, it's so getting the borrowed belief off people. It's super powerful. We all can. Oh, I know what that means and everything. But when you really are around people who are doing really big things, you'll take off. Like I remember a guy, and I became friends with him, and he was doing not so great, his business, and now he's doing really much better. And he said to me one time, I mean, it was kind of funny. He says, "I don't want to offend you," but he was like, "When I met you and everything, I thought like you were in all these states and you were going to be like this kind of like rich snobby guy." And he was like, then I was kind of like, this guy is doing this. Like, that's exactly what happens. Like you see it, you're like, all right, I see what he's doing. You start thinking, I can do this. It's happened with me with guys who own tons of apartment units, a ton of them, thousands. Like you think of them like this. And then when you talk to them, you're like, all right, well, I can do that, because you see what they're doing. But here's a quick thing on the just a quick story. So I remember in 2008, I had a big hit. I'll talk about that at the thing with real estate, and I was kind of down on my luck, but I was hustling and trying to rebuild. And I was drinking a couple beers with a buddy of mine, and he wasn't very motivated at all. And then he said, "What are you going to do?" I said, "I'm going to rebuild this, and I'm going to make $1 million a year with just cleaning gutters." And I was talking about making $1 million, like netting $1 million, not grossing.
Right.
And then he says, "How would you even do that? How could you gross $1 million doing gutters?" We were in New Jersey. He's like, you can't do that. I said, "I'm not talking about grossing. I'm talking about netting." And he goes, "Get the fuck," like he was like, he didn't even want to listen to me anymore.
Yeah.
But he was such a hater. And then over the years, I was telling him while I was doing it, and he just was tuning me out. And he was like, one day he said, "I actually think you're going to do that." But when I talked to, say, like Mark Evans, when I had a call with him, and our first call when I got in the Deal Maker, I said, "Yeah, I had told him in writing, I want to net $1 million a month." And when I told him, he was like, "Okay, so let's talk about how you can do that." Like it was nothing to him.
Yeah.
But the thought of the mind of doing that wasn't scary to him. He was thinking of solutions, and let's talk about your path to get there. If you say that to a normal person, I mean, you already know what their reaction is going to be.
They can't believe it, man. Their belief system.
This Friday and see how that conversation goes.
Yeah.
I'm going to net $1 million a month. Even I'm going to net $10,000 a week. Like they're not going to have a good response. You're not going to get good feedback.
That's why you have to surround yourself with higher level thinkers, because we've heard it said so many times, and there's different ways to say it, but your network is your net worth is your network, or what is your internal thermostat, as Ed Milet might say. You got to get in a room that's hot, that's fiery hot, that's steaming, because then your thermostat's going to raise and it's going to feel more normal. And we got to make sure that our normal is spectacular. We can't be doing this average, ordinary person stuff. Otherwise, you're never going to be that blue collar millionaire, or you're just going to be the blue collar millionaire and not get to the Deca and keep climbing. Right. So get yourself in the rooms, whether it's with us or someone else. Just put yourself in the influence of people that are doing massive action, and then you're not going to be able to do anything but have massive action in your own life.
Yeah. So we're going to do all these things. We're going to work on strategies that are going to work for you individually. lots of the strategies are going to work for everybody in that room, of course, but we're going to then get specific and niche with you. We're going to work on the mindset, the borrowed belief, the power of like this group and all of us doing it together. And then you're going to meet these guys. They're going to become your friends. We're going to do events in the future. We'll do yacht events and cool stuff. And these can be like escapes for you to get away and see these people. You might do business with a lot of them later. I do it now with guys in my groups. I've invested in other guys in real estate. They've been involved with me. I can make a phone call too and say, I was talking about this truck deal. I called one of them. He was like, yeah, I'm in. He didn't even ask. He said, if you're doing it, I'm doing it. Like that's really powerful. I know when I keep ragging on everyone's friends, I say it because a lot of my friends, great people, but they weren't doing it. I couldn't call them and say, yeah, I'm buying this truck deal. You want in? Like, yeah, put me in for 150. Like, nah, it wasn't going to happen. Like, it's super powerful to be around that. That sending a text at 9 o'clock at night to somebody who really can help you out, it can solve all your problems and reduce all that stress and anxiety for the next day, because you're like, oh, this guy just connected me with somebody who's going to help me out.
Well, it'll be one-on-one mentoring and coaching is what's going to happen. You're not going to have a speaker just speaking to you on generic techniques and whatnot. We will be able to make it specific. And God, I'm excited. I'm so excited to hear the success stories. Plus, we're going to have a videographer there that's going to be documenting this process. So you'll have some content that you'll be able to repurpose for your own situations, in showing people, hey, here's what I'm out doing. I'm out doing these events, and start working on your own personal brands as well. So there's going to be so much to grab. Very excited about it. January can't come soon enough. I'm more excited about that than Christmas.
That's another thing, is the getting your name out there and what you're doing. I was very reluctant to get on Facebook. Even if you told me 3 years ago I'd be doing Facebook Lives and doing an event, I'd be like, nah, I'm not doing that. I just don't see it. That's what I would have thought. But when I saw other people do it, it's the same thing. I started to think I could do one of these events. This is cool. This is fun. So we'll have a videographer there. He's going to be putting reels and clips together. We're going to be posting them and tag you in there. The people in your network are going to see you doing that. And it's going to elevate you too. It absolutely does when you're around people and people are like, wow, this guy's down in Florida doing business. The same thing you think when you see people doing that. I always like, wow, that guy is in a lot. Mike Burns, I know it because I know him personally, but anybody watching his page is like, man, this guy is all in. It's no surprise when he's a blue collar millionaire. It's like, I mean, what else would he be doing
Absolutely.
all that? It would be more surprising if he wasn't than he was.
Right.
So make it likely. Do the things, the habits, the steps to do it to make it likely for you. And let's get to Deca Millionaire. That's more interesting.
And if you follow Michael, he really does have a Lambo. It's not rented.
No. He just got Ferrari.
A Ferrari, okay.
Yeah, somebody hit it, and now it's back, and that car is incredible. He's an awesome guy.
So y'all let us know if you're interested, so we can go ahead and start reaching out. When we get these details solidified and we actually lock down the venue, that's when we're going to post all of the details, let you know exactly what the agenda is going to look like. Just know there is going to be a lot of relationship building, and you're going to get one-on-one coaching with a small group that you will be walking away, and then to watch your journey over the next 12 months in that new year is going to be extremely powerful and rewarding when you see the success that you've been able to make because of the relationships and mentoring that you got at this one mastermind. So y'all remember, we do our lives every Tuesday. We've got some really powerful speakers that are going to be coming on these future lives. So make sure that you tune in.
We got Jonathan Federa is going to come on. He's a total expert. He's awesome. We did a Zoom with him, man. Chris and I are taking notes, and I use him. He's helped me get financing for my business, factoring, which he can discuss. The guy's just like a book of knowledge on that. He's so all in on helping businesses grow through financial instruments. He's awesome to have on. We're going to have Mark Evans on. We don't have that set up yet, but he's a good friend of ours. He's an awesome guy. If you ever saw him speak, anybody who was at the Cleveland thing already knows he's just an incredible mindset and value to any group. We're going to have Mike Hostetler. He's got a tree and utility business in Indiana, multi-million-dollar company. He's a great guy, humble. I love talking to him, doing calls with him. He and I do like a call every month. He's in the deal maker group with me as well. It's been a great connection. We help each other work through little problems and give each other ideas. Chris, who else do we got?
We're going to bring Tim Bratz on because he has created a massive property management company. And I mean, what he's been able to do in such a short amount of time, and he contributes his success to the fact of getting in the right rooms as well. So we've got, listen, the players that are coming on to this show, I mean, these guys are doing big things.
Let me touch on Tim Bratz there. So Tim owns 4,000 apartment units. 4,000. I mean, it's kind of incredible. He's a super bright guy. He's a really good speaker. Tim, I told him when we were talking at Mark's event, he was actually the beginning of all this stuff for me. So just to show you how quickly one relationship or call can change everything. I was following Tim on social media. I liked his videos and what he was talking about apartment investing. I was having kind of this gutter money sitting, and I was like, I want to buy some passive income. And I saw his videos and I started messaging him and stuff. And then he did this one thing where he said, hey, I'm doing this charity for this hospital, this children's hospital in Cleveland. Anybody who pays $500 or $1,000 or something can hop on a call with me for an hour. I took it. I called him. He was an awesome guy. We talked for about 45 minutes on the phone. Then he calls me back, says, hey, I do this mastermind. Do you want to be in it? I got in his mastermind. I met all these different people, Mike Burns, Mark Evans. And it's just like, now I'm a GP on an apartment deal. I'm a LP in a few different ones. It's all really from that phone call. That's how crazy it was. It's like 6 degrees of separation to Kevin Bacon. If you ever played that thing, all my stuff goes back to Tim. Everybody is connected to him on some level. And it's been phenomenal, like crazy stuff. Now there's like 6 separations away on deals I do. I did one in Florida. It really he doesn't even know the person, but it is connected on some level because I started it off and I started getting around all these people who were thinking like me, and I loved it. I can't get enough of it.
One relationship away, man. One relationship away. I love the fact that Kyle and that acquisitionpreneur, that's their tag, is one relationship away.
Well, look at Kyle. I met Tim, and then I got in Mark's thing, and then Mark brought Kyle into our deal maker thing. I missed that because I had COVID, but then that was the connection. And now I'm friends with Kyle. I'm super excited about his Nashville. Also, I know guys have messaged us. Make sure you message Chris and I if you're going to that Nashville event. Yes. I mean, I might have got like 10 or 12 messages, and make sure, because I want to make sure I connect with everyone there. That event is going to be crazy. Kyle was telling me he's got like 95 people already going. And we're modeling our mastermind off some of this stuff, off Tim's mastermind, off Mark's, and off Kyle's. I'm kind of trying to take all the best things I like of them and put them together.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, dude, that's what I've got. Y'all just,
man, we got big time players coming on this show.
Y'all post your stuff, post your successes, brag in this group. When you're having business success, let's see the brags. When you're having some hurdles that you need to get over, mention the hurdles. Give us a chance. Give the group a chance to come in and give you some input, because there's some big players in this group, and you just need to ask the question. If you don't ask the question, you're not going to get the answer.
Yeah.
And that's what this thing is about. There's no other place that I know of where you can plug in and get business advice for free at this level. So make sure you utilize your resource. It's on nothing but yourself if you don't utilize this free resource.
Yeah, you know what? We'll put a post in there, brag about your recent accomplishment. I think that's a cool thing to do. None of us are bragging in here. Everybody can put up what they're doing. And then that also sparks conversations. And then people read those things and say, oh, I didn't know he was in Indiana. He had a tree business. I have that. You can connect with different people doing it. The last thing about the mastermind, which is super powerful, and we'll do this, is let's just say we had 10 or 12 people there. We're going to break into groups of like small groups of like 3 and 4 people. And you can talk about your problems that you're thinking. You know, like if you've ever had somebody come in and give you a really good idea about your business, it's because sometimes you can look into someone's business. It's hard to see it when you're knee deep in the weeds. Yeah. And I got a lot of those. I was on a walk going through a mountain in Gatlinburg at Tim's thing, and a guy came up to me and he had heard my problem, and he gave me one idea that I use to this day. I mean, I remember when he told me and I was walking, I was like, that's it. That's the answer. It's crazy, but he's a super bright guy. But he heard my thing and he's just like, I'm going to go tell him, because I don't think he knows that. And the truth is I didn't know it. And then I still use it to this day. That's how crazy it is. Like you can get something because these guys have problems, and then you'll see stuff for them and they'll see stuff for you. So man, I'm excited. You could see it. We're so excited to have this event.
All right, y'all, keep your eyes tuned, and let's as soon as we get the venue locked down, we'll be posting, and it's going to go quick, so don't delay. When we actually put that link up for you guys to sign, we'll be making those phone calls, and then at that point, pull the trigger, because you're not going to want to miss out on this opportunity. I mean, the success stories that are going to come out of this small little mastermind happening in January will be incredible, and you'll have some major FOMO if you don't plug in.
It'll all be part of your story on your rise to wherever you're going, your journey that never ends. It'll be part of your story. All right, we'll talk to you guys soon.
Y'all go make your millions.